Hi, I'm Terry Luck, and I'm visiting with our pastor, Father Jeremiah Boland, here at the Hellerman Garden at OLPH Church in Glenview. A lot of things are happening now, Father Jerry, and one of the new initiatives is the Renew My Church program. And for parishioners who don't know what that is, it's really kind of exciting and will result in big changes. Maybe you could tell everybody about it.
Sure. So I've been addressing a little bit on the bulletin in recent weeks about Renew My Church. If you've been following the newspapers, you've been aware that like every couple of weeks there's announcements about parishes that have merged, parishes that are closing, schools that are either moving into a different model. And that's all a result of this strategic planning process initiated by Cardinal Cupich called Renew My Church. Renew My Church theologically goes back to that moment when St. Francis was invited by the Lord to rebuild or repair the church. And he thought the Lord was talking about his parish church. And so he went and plastered the walls and painted and thought he had heard the Lord's call. And the Lord was not talking about the church, but the church. And the Archdiocese of Chicago is, the third largest diocese in the United States, one of the most influential dioceses. And much of the foundation of this vital church was built up under the leadership of Cardinal Mundelein. And Cardinal Mundelein believed that if you had a church on every corner, that would be the greatest sign of evangelization, to surround the community with the physical presence of the church, both with parishes and institutions. Many of those institutions and parishes are still very active today. But that was a vision of 100 years ago. And here we are, 2021, with a dramatically different demographic reality than Cardinal Mundelein faced. And we have found ourselves hemorrhaging all sorts of resources, trying to sustain institutions and parishes where time had passed them by. The Catholic population had diminished, the buildings are deteriorated. And so the Cardinal thought we should enter a phase where every single parish, from the poorest of the poor to the wealthiest of the wealthy, enter a process of reflection. What is our mission? How can our mission be more effective? To think of the church without being trapped by buildings. If you had a blank map, where would you put evidence of the church in parishes and institutions? Now, in one sense, this is very exciting. It's mobilizing us for an effective future, but it's a terribly painful process when it results in the closing of parishes. And there have been, many parishes, and it's not just the inner city that's been affected by this new strategic planning. Our Lady of the Brook and St. Norbert's have formed the Catholic community of Northbrook. Sacred Heart and St. Philip's of Northfield are now the Church of Divine Mercy. So it's not just the inner city that's had to rethink itself, but everybody.
Well, specifically for Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church, we'll be connecting with St. Catherine Labouré and the Northbrook community, is that correct?
Yes, so every parish in the Archdiocese is put into a grouping, and the groupings are to look at issues regarding viability, mission, and future vitality. And now there are certain metrics that the diocese uses that affect what kind of process you're entering. So there's a metric that if you have less than 800 people worshiping on the weekends, this is a pre-COVID number, then a red flag goes up. There's certain metrics on your finances. What are your assets? What is your expense ratio? There's an assessment of the physical plant. A lot of parishes have deferred maintenance to the point where the buildings are in tremendous need of essential repairs. Now, our grouping, St. Catherine's, the Catholic Community of Northbrook, and OLPH, we far exceeded all of the metrics regarding structural change. So we are not going to be entering a process where, would there be one church with two missions, or would one of the parishes be folded into one of the other existing parishes? All three parishes are very vital. So the focus of our process is going to be collaboration. For instance, youth ministry. Everyone's concerned about our young people, and the more we learn about the number of young people that don't go to church or don't believe in church, we realize that very early on in life, they make a decision about, am I going to affiliate or not affiliate? So it's just up the ante for youth ministry. All of our kids go to the same schools: Glenbrook North, Glenbrook South, Loyola Academy, Regina, St. Pat's, Notre Dame. Would there be value in us maybe having an area approach for youth ministry? Take the Kairos program. Do you have one parish has a Kairos program for 20 kids, but if the 3 parishes came together, you might have a retreat program for 50 or 60 kids. So we're going to be looking at that as an example. There are other things. The RCIA program, would there be a case to be made that instead of trying to have 3 separate programs and getting 3 sets of speakers, and could we do things more collectively? Parish missions, Advent and at Lent. We have the reality of the clergy shortage. Now right here at OL, we're in La La Land because we have 3 full-time priests and a retired priest. So one can get the impression that, there's all these priests. But, there's only 1 priest at St. Catherine's, Father Lara, and there's 2 priests at St. Norbert's, and then there's 4 priests here. But this year we ordained 2 priests. Next year there'll be 3 priests. And then the following year, for the first time in the history of our seminary, there is not an ordination class. So the number of new priests is drastically declining. And so that's going to impact the sacramental life of our community. So we're going to need to work together. Maybe there'll come a time when, the Monday daily Mass will be at St. Norbert's, and the Tuesday daily Mass will be at OL, and the Wednesday Mass will be at St. Catherine Library. We're going to have to start thinking more as a team. We've got 3 vital parishes, and look at all the ministries. Most of the ministries in this parish, if I vanished tomorrow, that wouldn't affect any of those ministries. So we have a lot going for us. This is all about how can we be even more vital. This pandemic, a lot of people have drifted away, and we're going to have to work, the 3R parishes, to re-engage thousands of people that have drifted away from regular Sunday practice of going to church. We've got a lot of challenges. Even before the pandemic, only 25% of our parishes regularly attend services. So we've got to engage this vast mass of people that are sort of, very limited in how central the parish is in their life. So it's going to be very exciting. And in terms of the timeline, we are now engaged in this phase, this next wave of Renew My Church. The pastors have been to several meetings. We're all now putting together a steering committee, which is basically made up of a representative, the parish council, the finance council, the staff, the principal, the DRE, and a couple of parishioners. And they'll be formed in the planning process. There'll be many times of getting feedback from the larger parish. This summer we're going to spend time learning about one another's faith communities, and then in the fall we'll be meeting very regularly. By the end of October to mid-November, we're going to come up with a report that will be presented to Cardinal Supage as to our immediate strategic plan for the Catholic community of Lee of Glenbrook, Glenview, and Northbrook. Okay. And the Cardinal will then consult with the Presbyteral Council, and then probably a vote will be taken, and then he'll promulgate the plan probably to begin on January the 1st.
Okay.
So it's going to be happening right now, and I will keep you informed. We'll probably be doing more of these fireside chats as the plan begins to take shape.
Now there is a presentation coming up early in June with Sarah Picard from the Archdiocese. Maybe we could talk about that event.
So this would really be helpful. On June 8th, 7 p.m., we're going to have Sarah Picard from the Archdiocese. She does a program called Renew My Church 101, where she explains the whole why are we doing this? What's the point of it? What has already happened? What will be happening? It'll be you can either go in person to McDonald Hall, or it will be live streamed. And I would really encourage, if you can, to check it out either in person or live stream, because this is a process that's not just affecting the 3 parishes here in Glenview and Northbrook, but this is a defining moment for the future of the Church of the Archdiocese of Chicago. And some people can characterize the Renew My Church process as all about closing, shutting down, downsizing, and that's really missing the whole point. The point is revitalizing, getting our mission clear, getting a higher investment in the mission of the future. So the more of us that are familiar with the process and its purpose, the more effective it will be.
Yeah. Now at this event, it'll be very interactive, so people will be able to, if they're watching it on Zoom, ask questions, and there will be a microphone at the event for people who choose to come to McDonald Hall, so they can ask any questions they want and be part of the presentation.
This process only works when there's a significant buy-in of people, and the communications element is crucial. In the parishes that have really struggled with the planning process, there's not been effective communication. People didn't know what was happening, or people didn't understand why their parish was being impacted in ways that the other parishes weren't. The more we all understand what's happening, obviously you can dispel some of the misinformation that always surrounds processes like this, like it's already been decided, whatever that is, or
right.
There's some secret plan that the Cardinal is hatching on us. It's really not like that, but we're going to stay communicating with you. The bulletin, the website, we'll be having some town hall meetings that the whole parish will be involved in, so that all of us can partner together with our 2 sister parishes in building a great future for the parish communities of St. Catherine, the Catholic community of Northbrook, and Our Lady of Perpetual Help here in Glenview.
Okay. And again, we invite everyone to be part of this event on June 8th. And please be involved. Please get involved, because these are really, like you mentioned before, it's really a very creative and it's an exciting time. So don't be a bystander.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Terry.